Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, August 24, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. REGINA student secures most grade 1s at CSEC as Guyana's overall performance dips. GLADSTONE HEIRS must do more than apologize for slavery, says President Ali. With some 20 laws passed this year, government to educate public on no offences benefits. BARTICA businessman hammers customer to death during row at game shop. And GFS conducting night inspections at public buildings, including schools and ministries. Now for the news in detail. For the second consecutive year, the REGINA Multilateral School along the Essequibo Coast in Region 2 has produced what can be considered the country's top performer at this year's Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC exams. Other CSEC top performers came from schools such as Abram Sewell Secondary, the Saraswati Vidya Nikitan, and Queen's College. For the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, top performers hailed mostly from Queen's College, with at least one student from St. Stanislaus College in the top 4. The evening news caught up with some of the country's top CSEC and CAPE performers, who shared their experiences in making their schools, families, and country proud. Here's what they had to say.
My name is APOLOGISE. I attended the REGINA Secondary Schools. I got 23 grade 1s and 4 grade 2s. I'm very overwhelmed, excited, everything. I don't really know how to feel at this point. I don't really like to do public speech since it's nerve-wracking. Future plans. I'm hoping to get a scholarship to study overseas in the medical or engineering field, and that's all.
So my name is Virendra from Saraswati Vidya Nikitan, and I'm very surprised but very happy as well to get the results that I did, and I'm very grateful for my parents and their support, as well as the entire school, all the teachers, friends, and everyone else that played a part in getting through.
Hi, my name is Mariah Sakram, and right now I am feeling very proud of myself for achieving what I did with the CSEC 2023 examinations. Firstly, I'd like to give thanks to God for giving me faith to pursue my academics, and I'd like to thank my friends and family, especially my mom and all my teachers, for putting in the hard work and effort with me and giving me time and dedication when I need.
Good afternoon. Firstly, I would like to thank God for this opportunity. I know many people don't come out of examinations, especially CSEC, with this amount of recognition. So I want to give him all the praise, honor, for this. I definitely do feel somewhat disappointed. I feel like everyone who writes any examination does it with the intention of coming out as successful as possible, but I am elated that I performed well enough to make it in not only the top 24, I mean 12 or more ones in the country, but also the top 10 furthermore. And I feel like I'm satisfied with my work.
Hi everyone, my name is Naresh Agjanan, and I'm the student that got 9 grade 1s and 1 grade 2. I must say that I'm very elated and ecstatic to receive this marvelous news, but it's a very humbling feeling as well to know that all the hard work and immeasurable sacrifices that I would have invested, it all paid off. And also, it warms my heart that God is listening, because this is something that I prayed for, something that I so desired, and something that I worked very hard for. So in the end, it all worked out pretty great. He listened to me, and he gave me what I wanted, and so I'm very thankful for him. Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Joshua Galap from Queen's College. I am one of this year's top CAPE performers with 11 subjects. At the moment, it's a bittersweet moment. It's good in that I know that I was able to be amongst the top, but at the same time, I guess there are little issues with my subjects. Some of them grades that I didn't write those subjects for, but I trust that the ministry will get those things corrected and sorted out. But at the moment, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the outcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Zayn Raptar. I achieved 6 grade 1s and 4 grade 2s at the CAPE level, and I'm very ecstatic at the receival of this news. And of course, I couldn't have done it alone. There were many teachers and my parents all supporting me along the way. And I would like to extend a great thanks to them and to all of those who supported me in my journey throughout this education system. I could not have done it without them. Thank you.
So my name is Leon Jardy. I'm from Peru. I attended Vincent Bar College to complete Cape, and honestly I'm still surprised that the results I got. I did not expect all of this. And when I got the phone call yesterday, it was surprising. But overall, I think the hard work I put in really paid off, and really and truly I believe that God led me to this, and it's a great experience.
For both the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, Guyana has seen slight dips in the overall performances this year. Details in this Rupasina report.
Chief Education Officer Saddam Hussein made this announcement on Thursday when the results were released by the Education Ministry at the REGINA Secondary School. Across the country, 12,118 students sat the CSEC examinations, an increase in 10,368 in 2022. There were 75,764 entries. Overall, the pass rate was 65% this year, a decline from 68.5% last year.
There was a slight decline at 65% this year as compared to 2022. We recorded outstanding performances in 14 subjects. By outstanding, we mean that the subject nationally had more than 80% pass rate. Agriculture Science Double Award, Agriculture Science Single Award, EDPM, Family and Resource Management, Food, Nutrition and Health, Education Technology, Industrial Technology, Building, Industrial Technology, Electrical, Information Technology, Music, PE and Sports, Religious Education, Technical Drawing, Theater Arts, and Industrial Technology, Mechanical as well.
For CAPE, a slight dip in the overall performance was reported at 90.85%. A total of 701 students from 12 secondary schools and 4 private centers sat the exams. There are 17 examination centers in Guyana. In CAPE, grades 1 to 5 represent a pass in the respective subjects.
Overall, we had a slight dip, a very, very slight dip in our overall pass rate at CAPE, which this year is 90.85. So there was a dip of about 2% from 2022. In the following 12 units, candidates obtained a 100% pass rate. Accounting Unit 2, Applied Maths Unit 2, Building and Mechanical Engineering 1 and 2, Electronic and Electrical Technology Unit 2, Food and Nutrition Unit 2, Geography Unit 1, Green Engineering Unit 2, Physical Education and Sports Unit 1 and 2, Physics Unit 2, and Spanish Unit 2.
A breakdown of the CAPE performance shows 386 grade 1s, 736 grade 2s, 981 grade 3s, 761 grade 4s, and 493 grade 5s. In 40 units, students scored 75% or higher. Persons requesting a review can do so by September 7th, 2023. Rupasina, The Evening News.
The Guyana government will soon be embarking on a public awareness campaign to enlighten citizens and key stakeholders about the various new pieces of legislation that were passed so far this year. Find out more in this Tasia Dickinson report.
With some 20 pieces of legislations already passed in the first half of the parliamentary year, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal has outlined the need for the public as well as key stakeholders to be made aware of these new laws and/or amendments.
The ordinary citizen, the policeman who are required, the policemen who are required to enforce the law, the judiciary who are to interpret the law, and other important stakeholders. It is imperative that they understand the law. And we are moving at such a pace that Cabinet has formed the view that we need to start an aggressive public awareness program.
The Legal Affairs Minister explained that this awareness campaign will focus on sensitizing the population on the various laws being passed to understand their benefits and, some cases, the breaches.
If you don't know the law, then how will you be expected to obey the law? And it is impossible to expect the ordinary citizen to find the laws and read them. It is almost impossible to expect also that the ordinary policeman and woman will understand, will find the laws, read them and understand them. So we have to launch an aggressive and direct public awareness campaign in a diversified way, targeting the various sectors, including the public, in ensuring that the law is simplified.
AG Nandlal noted that this initiative has to be a multifaceted approach that will be led by the Legal Affairs Ministry starting as soon as next week.
We will launch a TV program called Simplifying the Law, and we will begin from there. But it will include all ministers, it will include police officers, it will include other legal officers, officers from the DPP chambers, officers from the various state agencies, legal officers, and more importantly, it will include the private bar in discussions as well.
Tassia Dickinson, The Evening News.
It is now day 9 and workers who are being reassigned to the Rose Hall Sugar Estate are continuing to strike. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us now to report that the workers say they are willing to return to work, but certain conditions have to be met.
The workers on strike are those who were transferred from the Rose Hall estate when it was closed in 2017 to work on another estate. When the estate was closed, about 2,500 persons were employed and 1,181 were retrenched and subsequently issued with severance packages. The striking workers took to the streets one day after a high-level meeting involving senior officials from the Guyana Sugar Corporation, GAISUCO, GAU, which is the union representing the workers, management of the 3 estates, and the workers' representatives. The meeting was aimed at discussing harvesting strategies for the Rose Hall estate, which is expected to commence grinding operations on September 16. A decision was taken to relocate 140 cane harvesters from the Albion estate and a further 130 from the Blamont estate to work at the Rose Hall estate for the crop, which is expected to last between 5 and 6 weeks. The workers took to the streets the following day in protest action, demanding that if they are to return to Rose Hall estate, they must first be given a severance package, since those who were sent home when the estate was closed were also given severance packages, and some of them have been rehired as preparations are being put in place for the reopening of the estate. The striking workers are arguing that the retrenched workers were also given a severance package. Who were given severance packages were subsequently given $250,000 each when the PPP returned to office. They say they too are entitled to something. On Thursday, the aggrieved workers continued protesting.
I was forced to work at Albion Estate by written documents. It is a threat to me and my family. If me and torn out to work, my work would be terminated. I served these people for over 20 odd years. Now these people are telling me as a citizen for this country that I have no benefit for get, and the the company closed. Now this is one more thing I regret. As a citizen of this country, we are on the protest for, this is 9 days now. We're just asking for any government official who in the position to come speak to we. Until now we can't see nobody.
For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
Guyanese company Wahab Imports Inc. has secured an authorized distributorship for LG Electronics, has launched a new storefront at Water Street, Georgetown, and is promising to provide an elevated level of service to customers. Pooja Rambaran has the details.
During the opening of the new store at Water Street, Georgetown on Wednesday, Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh noted that forging partnerships, such as the one between the South Korea-based electronic company and Wahab Imports Incorporated, is a significant component of the comprehensive transformation that Guyana is undergoing. This transformation, he explained, does not just relate to physical infrastructural changes, but also improvements to the citizen experience, in which Guyanese can expect an advanced level of customer service within institutions.
Not so long ago, in Guyana, you had very few manufacturers, representatives, and authorized distributors. You had very few stores capable of delivering manufacturers' warranties and honoring manufacturer service obligations.
Very few manufacturer representatives, he added, offered customers the kind of service they would receive in North America or elsewhere in the world.
A part of this modern Guyana that we're trying to build out is also that aspect that will see Guyanese purchasers of goods and services enjoying the same level of customer service, the same level of backup support, the same quality of manufacturers' warranties and other assurances provided by manufacturers as would be available in any other market.
As such, he urged Wahab Imports Incorporated to provide a high quality of services and affordable prices for local customers. With Guyana seeking to construct some 7 new internationally branded hotels in the coming years, Singh noted the host of potential LG Electronics customers that can be served. The minister added that partnerships that seek to advance Guyana's development will continue to be embraced by the government. Meanwhile, LG Electronics President for Latin America, Kipyo Ohm, echoed the company's continued support to Guyana. Ohm and a team from LG Electronics also met with President Dr. Irfan Ali on Wednesday to discuss available business opportunities in Guyana, as well as their partnership in this year's International Building Expo. Pooja Rambaran for the Evening News.
Coming up, 4 remain in custody as probe continues into murder of mother and son, and Talao did not inform government of selling assets offshore Guyana, says VP Jagdeo. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Did you know that John Lewis Styles carries back-to-school items? Besides clothing and footwear, you can also get lunch bags from $3,500, backpacks from $4,500, and pulley backpacks from $10,995, all for the same price or less than buying online, and it's already here. Also, get a chance to win one RCA tablet every week in August. Enter to win with every $5,000 you spend. That's 4 tablets you can Google homework with. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Hello, I am Dr. Tariq Jagnarang, Program Manager of the National AIDS Program Secretariat, Guyana. HIV self-testing makes it easier for you to know your HIV status. It's better to know because early treatment makes a difference if you test positive. Living with HIV is not only possible, it is now made easier by the availability of HIV self-testing kits in Guyana. HIV is no longer life-threatening, it is life-changing. You can get a free HIV self-testing kit from the National AIDS Program Secretariat on Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or at any one of our voluntary counseling and testing sites countrywide.
This PSA was made possible through a partnership between Guyana and the American people through PEPFAR.
Guyana, the International Building Expo is back. The advances made in the housing, construction, and infrastructure sector is everyone's business. Come down to the Guyana National Stadium from Thursday, August 24th through Sunday, August 27th and get a glimpse of the latest in building techniques. Interact with service providers in the sector and financial institutions. Make it a family affair and bring the kids too. Enjoy free entry during our grand opening night on August 24th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Admission fee applies after 8 p.m. Gates open at 11 a.m. daily from August 25th to 27th. Admission easy. Adults $500 and kids under 12 free.
I love this place. You are in it. Oh no, welcome to Building Expo.
The biggest party in sport is back. CPL returns with more action than ever before.
Are you kidding me?
Watch the biggest names in cricket battle it out in the race for glory.
Celebrate some more.
Get your tickets now at cplt20.com or at the box office. Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
Need to take an HIV test, but worried about your privacy? An HIV self-test is for you. First, I press the flat pad firmly against my upper gum and swap it. Then I do the same for the lower gum. Next, I place the flat pad into the tube and leave it there for 20 minutes before reading the results. I got my accurate result in minutes in the privacy of my own home. That's it. Quick, easy, and convenient. It's better to know now rather than later, so you can start treatment if you are positive. Get free HIV self-test from the National AIDS Program, Hatfield Street, Georgetown, and voluntary testing and counseling sites countrywide.
This PSA was made possible through a partnership between Guyana and the American people through PEPFAR.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A 40-year-old construction worker identified as Kevin Surfin was beaten to death during a birthday party at Speedland Village, Lower Caracara, Linden, Region 10, during the wee hours of today. Police say that at around 23 hours 45 last night, the man and his 29-year-old partner went to the party and were hanging out with a group of friends. The woman said she left the group at around 5 hours today to go purchase cigarettes from a bar, and upon her return, she noticed a gang of 15 persons assaulting Surfin. The woman recalled that during the altercation, Surfin managed to jump into a nearby creek to escape from his assailants. He eventually came out of the creek and collapsed to the ground. He was subsequently picked up and taken to the Linden Hospital complex, where he was pronounced dead. Upon examination, a small wound was seen to the region of his heart, and there was a bruise above his left eye. We now tell you that a 34-year-old businessman of BARTICA Region 7 has been taken into custody for allegedly hammering a long-standing customer to death last evening. Dead is Mark Brathwaite, a 40-year-old resident of 4 Miles Housing Scheme, BARTICA. Investigations thus far revealed that the suspect's father, a 63-year-old businessman of 2nd Avenue, BARTICA, owns and operates a Blast gaming center at the said location. On the night in question, the suspect was left in charge of the gaming center while the victim, a regular customer, was playing at one of the slot machines. The suspect and Brathwaite had a misunderstanding over alcohol spilling on the countertop, and during the argument, the suspect scolded Brathwaite about the incident. Brathwaite then armed himself with several glass bottles that were nearby and began hurling them at the suspect, who was in the bar behind the counter. The suspect armed himself with a hammer and went behind Brathwaite, who at this time had made his way to the front of the gaming center. The suspect then used the hammer to pound the man to his head and face. Brathwaite fell to the ground and remained motionless. Taken to the BARTICA hospital, he was pronounced dead on arrival. The body was examined and blunt wounds were observed to the right jaw area, above the right eye and to the forehead. The suspect was arrested and remains in custody. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us now to report that 4 persons remain in police custody as police continue to probe the circumstances surrounding the murder of a mother and her 8-year-old son at their home in Rosehall Town. Here are the details.
Police on Wednesday arrested 4 persons following the discovery of the 2 bodies at their home situated at Mangrove Street, Rosehall Town, earlier in the day. They are 31-year-old Melissa Arokium and her 8-year-old son, Anthony Arokium. Regional Commander Senior Superintendent Chief Basad Baka said local investigators were leaving no stone unturned, and as such 4 persons were taken into custody as the probe commenced.
The suspects, we do have some persons of interest where we are conducting the investigation. As soon as it develops, we will feed you subsequently.
When you say you have persons of interest, are they detained? Are they in custody? What is happening?
They are being questioned at the moment.
And how many persons?
4.
Any relatives, any close?
Yes, they are relatives of the deceased, and one is a neighbor.
The bodies were discovered by a close relative of the now dead woman. Her body was lying in a pool of blood on the floor, while her son was in his bed, also in a pool of blood, with what appeared to be at least 1 stab wound to the back of his neck, while his mother was seen with what appeared to be chopped wounds to her neck, shoulder, and chest. Meanwhile, the 4 persons who were taken into custody were subsequently taken to police headquarters in Georgetown as the major crime unit of the Criminal Investigations Department took over the investigation. According to the commander, local detectives found a blood trail, but at the time could not determine if it was animal or human blood. Arokium operated a small grocery shop from her home. She shared a building with a brother who was a cane harvester, but they lived in separate apartments. That brother had left home at about 4 hours to go to work. He reportedly last saw his sister alive the previous afternoon. Reports are that he returned from work at about 11 hours and did not notice anything amiss. It was not until after 13 hours that day that the woman and her son were found dead by another brother who had come by to visit. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
In light of the recent fires at public buildings, including schools, the Guyana Fire Service has intensified night inspections at these institutions countrywide. Pooja Rambaran tells us more.
Even before the fires at schools started, we have been doing inspections at schools. After those fires, known fires, we continue to do inspections. And not only inspections, as in going in the structures and identifying where and what type of firefighting equipment needs to be installed, we have also been doing visits to schools in the evenings. And that is throughout the country. And that's a practice that we will continue because we recognize that these schools generally have been coming under threat. And so we want to avoid that as far as practically possible. Not only schools, government properties and other properties within our country.
Fire Chief Gregory Wickham during an interview with the Evening News on Wednesday. He said this initiative is also aimed at identifying potential fire hazards that may go unnoticed during regular daytime inspections.
Those are some of the things we put in place to prevent these type of catastrophes.
During these inspections, the fire chief said his team discovered a slew of fire safety violations within ministries, private buildings, and schools.
Some of the main things or recurring factors we have seen during fire prevention inspection throughout the country, whether that be a government property or a private property, is one, persons, like I said, grilling their buildings and not having a plan, a fire escape plan. Persons not using smoke detectors, that is early warning devices. Persons' properties do not have smoke detectors, fire alarms, and even fire extinguishers. And so those are some common things that we find when we do inspections throughout the country, whether that be, again, government or non-governmental properties.
In addition to the night inspections, Wickham unveiled an ambitious plan to continue expanding the installation of fire hydrants across the country. This expansion initiative is designed to improve response times and firefighting capabilities, ultimately enhancing public safety. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
Given the current deplorable state of Factory Road, residents of Enterprise, East Coast Demerara will soon be able to use a new 6-inch thick concrete thoroughfare as contracts for its reconstruction were signed yesterday. Here is Pooja Rambran again with the details.
During the simple contract signing ceremony on Wednesday, Minister within the Public Works Ministry Deodat Indar explained that this new roadway, measuring 700 meters by 4.25 meters, will be built to handle increased traffic.
We wanted this road to be a concrete road to withstand the kind of traffic that will end up on it. These roads, when they were built, they didn't build them to deal with those kind of weights moving on them.
To complete the project in the stipulated 3-month timeline, a $42.7 million contract was awarded to R&B Investments Incorporated to complete one half of the road. Meanwhile, another contract amounting to $42.3 million was awarded to JS Engineering Services and Supplies to finish the other half.
We split it in half so that the work can be done quickly too. So 350 meters for one lot and the other 350 meters for the other lot, for them to finish it quickly in the dry season, because rain is going to be upon us by October, end of October. So the contractors that are selected, that bid competitively, they have good track record to finish it quickly.
A blank bill of quantity will be issued to the Neighborhood Democratic Council, NDC, to increase monitoring of this Factory Road project. This project comes about a month after a visit to the community by Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo. Since this engagement, some 20 roads at Fowles and 14 roads at Enterprise were rehabilitated. Meanwhile, the ministry has gone out to tender for revetment works and the construction of culverts in the lead-up to other roadworks at Enterprise. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
Vice President Dr. Bar Jagdeo has disclosed that London-based Tullow Oil Company has not formally notified the government about its decision to sell its majority stake in the Oranduke block offshore Guyana. Earlier this month, Tullow announced that it has agreed to sell its 60% total interest in the Oranduke license to Eco Guyana Oil and Gas Barbados Limited in exchange for a combination of upfront cash to the tune of US $700,000 and contingent consideration. The London Oil Company said this decision is in line with its strategy to focus on its high-return production assets in Africa and infrastructure-led exploration around producing hubs, and delivers its objective to unlock value in emerging basins. In 2019, Tullow on the Oranduke license drilled 2 exploration wells which yielded uncommercial oil discoveries. Here is what Vice President Jagdeo had to say about the UK oil major's decision to downsize its Guyana offshore operations.
2 days ago, I spoke with Vikram Bharat, and at that time we had not received notification. And they need to notify us because the approval has to be done by the government of Guyana. So up to that point in time, we had not been notified about this. We've been hearing about it, the grapevine, but that has to come through, as we said before, a formal process to us.
Decision to leave the Oranduke block. That's what you didn't hear about?
Yeah.
Okay. There is also, with respect to the Kanuku block, from my analysis of their contract, their time with the block should have come to an end already. So I wanted to know if the government gave an extension to the holders of the Kanuku block, Repsol and Tullow and so on.
No, there's been no extension.
Descendants of a slave owner, John Gladstone, who enslaved over 2,500 persons during tumultuous times, will be coming to Guyana to offer a formal apology for slavery as well as indentureship. The Gladstone family, who is arriving upon the invitation of the University of Guyana, have for decades been supporting educational, historical, and cultural projects through grants which are divorced from reparations, which have benefited other universities given the important role of universities in the elimination and removal of systems of oppression. President Dr. Irfan Ali, while welcoming the apology, expressed that more must be done to address issues of compensation and reparative justice. Here's what he had to say.
I welcome the progeny of John Gladstone for their apology. Acknowledgement and apology are first steps in the process of reparative justice. The apology is implicitly an acknowledgement of the cruel nature of African enslavement and indentureship in Guyana, and an act of contrition that paves the way for justice. The apology offered by the descendants of John Gladstone underscores their willingness to confront their family's dark past and to acknowledge the immense pain, suffering, and indignities inflicted upon innocent persons through their families' actions. As I said in my message this year for Emancipation Day, I called on those who are complicit and who profited from the trade in captive Africans and African enslavement to offer just reparations. The Gladstone family has admitted that it benefited from African enslavement and indentureship on the Demerara and other plantations owned by its patriarch John Gladstone. It has agreed to undertake certain actions. I therefore propose that the intended apology include issues of compensation, reparative justice, and those involved to be posthumously charged for crimes against humanity. In recent years, the demands for reparations for African enslavement and indentureship have intensified. The call for reparations is not intended to promote or leverage shame or guilt over the slave trade and slavery. It is not extortion. Instead, the demand for reparations is a commitment to righting historical wrongs. The heinousness of this crime against humanity demands that we seek to right these wrongs. Yet, we face a pushback when it comes to recompense for this crime, something that does not accord with the fundamental underpinnings of justice. But there is another important reason why the Caribbean is demanding reparations. Slavery has bequeathed a legacy that endures to this day. It must be recalled that 2 out of every 5 slave persons were shipped to the Caribbean. The region bears witness to the lasting impact of this historical injustice, a burden that has impeded development and hindered progress. The Caribbean Reparations Committee 10-point plan for reparations offers a roadmap towards dismantling the barriers that persist. It calls inter alia for an unconditional apology, an investment in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and cultural revitalization, while acknowledging the historical atrocities of slavery and offering an apology is undeniably significant. It constitutes just the initial step on the path towards achieving comprehensive reparative justice for African enslavement. An acknowledgement and apology serve as a moral reckoning, validating the pain and suffering inflicted on generations past. However, the multifaceted legacy of slavery extends far beyond the confines of historical memory. The descendants of John Gladstone must now also outline their plan of action in line with the CARICOM 10 points plan for reparative justice for slavery and indentureship.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, August 25th at 11 hours 30 and then at 23 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, August 25th at 10 hours 10 for a period of 1.5 hours.
CPL 2023, King shines again as Tallawahs beat Patriots and new coach burden to boost Golden Jags Nations League prep. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvies has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ertanisa Hamilton, Director of Primary Healthcare Services at the Ministry of Health. I'm here to tell you that HIV self-testing is easy, it's convenient, and most importantly, it's accurate. If you're tested positive, support and treatments are available at the National Treatment Site. You can get a free HIV self-test from the National AIDS Program, Hatfield Street, Georgetown, and voluntary testing and counseling sites countrywide.
This PSA was made possible through a partnership between Guyana and the American people through PEPFAR.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Guyana, the International Building Expo is back. The advances made in the housing, construction, and infrastructure sector is everyone's business. Come down to the Guyana National Stadium from Thursday, August 24th through Sunday, August 27th and get a glimpse of the latest in building techniques. Interact with service providers in the sector and financial institutions. Make it a family affair and bring the kids too. Enjoy free entry during our grand opening night on August 24th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Admission fee applies after 8 p.m. Gates open at 11 a.m. daily from August 25th to 27th. Admission easy. Adults $500 and kids under 12 free.
I love this place.